right, so this is 11.2. We're talking about area today, and we're kind of still working with circles a little bit like we did in chapter 10. So this is the area of a circle or the area of a sector, which is a piece of a circle, like the slice of pie. So we have the formula that we're used to, that maybe we're familiar with. The area of a circle is pi r squared, where r is the radius. So that's how to find the area of a circle as a whole. But how would you find a sector? Well, let's say here the radius is 3. I want one of these pieces. Well, I can find the area of the circle as a whole, and then I can divide it by how many pieces there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I find the area of this circle that has a radius of 3, I can divide it by 9. So the area of the circle, pi r squared, pi 3 squared. I try to only put my pi in at the very end to kind of reduce the number of decimals I'm writing down. So that's the area of the circle as a whole. The area of this sector would be that divided by 9. So the 9's actually cancel out. So the answer is 3.14. But we're talking about area, so my answer is actually 3.14 units squared. So we want to remember that piece, that area is always done in square units. So that's easy when all the pieces are equal like that. But what if you just have one piece and you're not sure what you could divide by? Well, we find the area of to find the area of the sector, we can make a ratio. So the area of the sector over the area of the circle is equal to the measure of the arc. Like here, this is the sector APB, and it's the arc AB. So the area of the sector over the area of the circle equals the measure of the arc, the degree measure, over 360. So remember, area of a circle is pi r squared, arc is measured in degrees. So we're just making a ratio. Essentially, it's the piece over the whole equals the piece, so the arc over the whole, which is the piece, the degree over 360. So here, I want to find the area of sector UTV. That's going to go over the area of circle T, and that's equals the measure of arc UV over 360. So the area I'm looking for over pi, the radius is 8 squared, equals the angle measure is 70 over 360. So if I cross multiply, I'm going to get 360 times the area I'm looking for equals, I'm going to leave the pi again until the very end. So I'm actually just going to do, so 8 squared is 64. So 64 times 70 is 4480. This is 4480 pi. If we multiply those together, and then I'm going to divide by 360. So my area is 4480 pi over 360. And now I can put that whole thing in my calculator in one shot without having to worry about typing in decimals. So my numerator is 4480 pi. That's why the pi button is nice. Divided by 360. So I get 39 point, the 5 would round up the 9, so it's actually 39.1. And it's in inches squared because our original radius was 8 inches, and we're going to stay consistent with that. Now I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I want to find the area of circle V. So in this case, they gave us the degree and they gave us the area of the sector, and I want the whole thing. So area of sector over the area of the circle equals the arc measure over 360. So the area of the sector they gave us was 35 meters squared over the area of the circle we're looking for equals the arc measure, which is 40 over 360. We can cross multiply. 40 is the area of the circle equals 35 times 360 is 12,600. Divide both sides by 40, and the area of the circle is 12,600 divided by 40, which is 315. And our original was meters squared, so this would be meters squared. And it should be bigger. Should be bigger than that, so keep that in mind. Now here I want to find the area and perimeter of the figure. So I want to find the area, so I want to consider all of this. But then I also want the perimeter. So the area, it looks like there's a semicircle and then a triangle. So the area is a semicircle plus a triangle. So the area of a semicircle is just pi r squared over 2. And the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So this is an isosceles triangle. They're both 7. Now that means the diameter of this circle is 7. So the radius is actually 3.5. And then the base and the height are both 7. So my area is going to be pi times 3.5 squared over 2 plus 7 times 7 over 2. Pi times 3.5 squared over 2 is 19.24. 49 divided by 2 is 24.5. Add those together, you get 43.74. Don't take my word for it. Make sure that you can put it in your calculator and getting the same thing so you know that it's working out and you're putting everything in the right place. Now for the perimeter. It's essentially half a circumference, this 7, and this hypotenuse. So it's the half the circumference plus the side plus the hypotenuse. So circumference is 2 pi r. So half the circumference would be over 2, or just pi r, plus the side is 7. And the hypotenuse, well, it is a right triangle. So if that was c, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 7 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. 49 plus 49 equals c squared. C equals the square root of 49 plus 49, which is 98. Or 9.9. All right, and what's my radius? My radius is 3.5. So 3.5 pi plus 7 plus 9.9, you're going to get 27.9. Now this is perimeter, it's just the edge, so we answer in just regular meters.